online and 103.2 FM. This is Insanity Radio.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chaudhry Waqas, bringing you the show called Waqattack. It's been a while since I've been on. Normally I do the 3 to 4 p.m. time slot on a Tuesday, but due to timetable clashes and whatnot, I'm here doing prime time 10 p.m. radio. Hopefully someone in some distant corner or in a field somewhere in Surrey might be listening, so if anyone's listening in a field or on the road or whatever you're doing right now, how you doing? Hello, nice to meet you. If you haven't heard the show before, you want to get to know me a little bit. This is basically a 1-hour comedy/parody show where I do a bunch of impressions and whatnot. And this is the first show of the year, so we're starting off with a clean slate. New things, new becomings. Last year we had loads of things. We introduced a new character, Mahmood. He was our guy who did the chart show. So basically, if I basically ran out of ideas to say, and I basically, because you're on radio, you have like a bunch of songs and stuff that you can choose from. So I basically thought, okay, you know what'd be nice? What we don't get a lot in mainstream radio is Indian dudes trying to host a chart show. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give this voice a calling. So what I did was put on a little cheeky, not too bad. It was decent. Put on, brought out my homie Mahmood and did a little chart show, to listen to all the big hits of the day. For example, Havana and whatnot. But Mahmood will not be here today, sadly. Today's show is basically going to be our recurring character called Abu Ayyub. Now, Abu Ayyub is this guy from the Middle East, and he's going to talk to us about his adventures. We're going to ask where he's been. And a new segment in which I'm going to try to do a kind of like a stand-up set, but sitting down, speaking through radio. Maybe it'll amuse you. You won't get to see all the gestures, but hopefully the voice will elevate the, not the seriousness, but what's going on and make it all animated and all that jazz. And if you're watching on YouTube, I think I'll look towards the camera. We're live streaming, so if you could go to InsanityRadio.com, you can see my face doing all the live skitty bit whatevers. So without further ado, we're gonna get into the show. First of all, we're going to have our friend, our homie, Dr. Abu Ayyub. Now, Abu Ayyub, how you doing, my friend? Hello, my friend. What are you doing at this ungodly hour? Do you not know that this is the time when I pray and go to sleep? You have woken me. This is like the middle of the night, my friend. What are you doing? Abu, I cannot control when they put me on the show. This is all, it's out of my control. So you tell me, how have you been? Well, right now I am cranky like a teenage girl who has not gotten her Kylie Jenner lip gloss like she requested from her mother. So I'm pretty annoyed. But you know what? Besides this little hiccup of today, I'm doing all right. I cannot complain. Life's all right. I'm breathing. I am living. It's all right, it's not too bad. That's good. So, have you been anywhere recently? Because we've been off air for a while. We haven't done a show since like December, even before December. So, how have you been since? Well, my friend, I was mainly in the UK, I was doing work, because, it's hard when you have a failing surf shop in America. It's hard to kind of run a business, so you got to do something on the side. So I do not have a family to feed, but I am myself the equivalent of a family when it comes to feeding, if you know what I mean. So what I did was, I thought, since I'm not getting much money from the States, what I will do is I will try to get a part-time job to get me through the cold, Christmas winters. So what I did was I applied to this cookery job, and I thought I was gonna do the cookery and cooking and stuff. But nah, they made me do all the dishes, and it was quite grimy. Like one time, I tell you, right? So it is almost as late as you are calling me today, by the way. And I was done doing my work. I did all the dishes, I cleaned the area and everything, and then my last task was to take out the trash. And so when you work in a restaurant, the trash is just like heaps and heaps of food waste. So there's like liquidy stuff, meat, disgusting things that you do not want getting on your body or anywhere near you. So my job is to take that and put it in the bin, so that's the bin man's problem, not my problem anymore. Okay. So what I did was I took it out as normal. This was quite a heavy bag, and you got to have muscle. So yeah, as you can see, I'm quite a dense man. I had to pull the black shopping garbage bag out of the thing. Right? As I took it out and put it behind my back, it's kind of like when you put a sack behind your back so you can carry it with two hands all the way to the thing. Like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, when they went mining and they got a bunch of the minerals. They put the mineral in a bag, put two hands, carry all the way. So that is what I kind of did. And as I did that, suddenly the juices and the meat and the vegetables and the God even knows, like some of the stuff, I was like, do humans even eat that thing? It was just coming out over and over and over again, and I was just like, what is going on over here? The entire floor, my friend, I am not making this, the entire floor covered with weird food juices that I have never seen in my entire life. It was a very sad sight, because what I had to do was, not only did I have to find a way to take this leaking heap of mess towards the bin, but I had to clean up the mess as well. So I basically put it all back in the trash, took the trash bag, and then took the bin, and then put the bin into the garbage can, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, that was that. Abu, you were supposed to be telling us about your holiday, not what you were doing like for your work. But I mean, it's a decent story. But when we come back, we like to hear a little bit about your holiday, and then after that, we're gonna do the stand-up set. All right. Next up, we're gonna be playing a song. The theme of today is, because it is the night. Night is when the creatures of the dark come out, the party people. No matter if it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever it is, the nighttime is when you go out and have a good time, like party, whatnot. Bob's your uncle. You can do whatever you want. So I'm gonna try to get like a little party going. I'm not gonna be playing all sorts of like deep like club music per se, but I'll be playing music that you can for all generations, for whether you're in your hundreds, whether you're in your 90s, whether you're in your 10s or 5s. If 5 years old and listen to this, you have really bad parents. But if you're 5 years old, you might enjoy some of the songs that I'm playing. So why don't we get started by a little bit of Will Smith, the Fresh Prince, with his song Getting Jiggy With It. Are you ready to get jiggy with it? Because I'm ready to get jiggy with it. So let's get jiggy with it. Let's go.
Bring it.
I can be a lifesaver. Treat me like a jawbreaker. It's your choice.
Sage the Gemini with Now or Later? Now and Later. So that was Sage the Gemini with Now and Later. Doesn't that song just make you want to get in your lowrider whip and just go up and down whilst listening to this track? I think it's one of those tracks that just makes you want to get in a lowrider and just go up and down for several up and downs, whatever that's called, rotations, revolutions, whatever it is. So welcome back to Waqattack, a 1 hour comedy / parody show. Not intended to offend anyone, but just for everyone to have a very good, fun, banterous time. So when we left off with Will Smith and whatnot, we had our friend Abu Ayyub telling us about his adventures in the world of catering and the restaurant business, what goes behind the scenes, and one of those things include getting a trash bag busted and juice falling out of it. So Abu, what happened after your experience as a kind of restaurant connoisseur dude? My friend, it is not even considered a restaurant connoisseur. It is just being a washer and trash taker outer. So I mean, thank you for your kind words, but whatever. So after that, I worked, I worked day and night. I worked several long shifts, and because I worked during the holidays, you get holiday pay. You get the nice double pay, even though it's minimum wage. Still, it gets you save some coin. And so because I did not order pizza every single day, I ended up saving some money. So I thought, what do I do with this money? I could buy a PS4. I could go to the strip club. I could do whatever I want with this money. So, but what I ended up doing was, I thought, what? I am a kind of a man who wants to be open-minded, who wants to see different people, experience different cultures. So I tried to book my ticket to Ibiza, but the problem is that all the tickets were booked because it was New Year's and everybody wanted to go to Ibiza for New Year's. So I was like, okay, I cannot go to Ibiza. What's the closest thing to Ibiza? So I ended up going to Barcelona. So okay, this was on a true everything that I'm about to tell you, true experience, no lying. Okay, so like I went on the plane, right, and I was on the plane, and then I was just sitting there minding my own business. I brought my little laptop so I can watch a little bit of a movie, because it gets quite, but even if it's like a 2-hour flight, it gets quite boring sometimes. You want something to amuse you, either it's music or visual. I like visual stimulation. Even as a kid, I enjoyed visual stimulation. Any form of visual stimulation in class or outside really stimulated me to learn and grow as an individual, if you get what I'm saying. So I was just sitting there, and the entire plane filled with the Spanish people. Everybody speaking Spanish. They were speaking so many Spanish. I thought I was in an episode of Narcos. I had no idea what was going on. People next to me, side, front, back. It was like the Macarena or something. I was like in a music video. So I was just sitting there, right? And then the guy in front of me looked back and just started speaking Spanish, right? I thought, oh, maybe he's speaking to someone behind me, so I just focused on my laptop, because I was like, I do not want to get involved in this. But then I see him directly making eye contact with me, and then I kind of look eye to eye with him, and then I find out, oh, this guy is talking to me. But then he's speaking Spanish, and he thinks that I am speaking Spanish, but I'm just quiet there. I do not know how to speak Spanish. What is he talking about? And then I look at the guy and give him that that weird look, like, man, what are you on about? And then he asked me this question in Spanish, and I do not know what to say, and I was just like, no pasa español, friend, I do not know what you're talking about. He's like, oh, so sorry. But although that moment, as awkward as it could have been, which it was very, very awkward. The bright side of that was, I always get a little bit of happiness when people confuse the country of origin where I'm from. So, like, as you quite clearly mentioned at the beginning during your introduction, that I was from the Middle East. Specifics are not involved, but Middle East. You get the vibes. Even the voice, you can clearly understand that. But to get mistaken from someone from Spain or Colombia or like Italy or something. I wish I get an Italian one, because people from Italy are beautiful. But just getting mistaken for someone from a different country, that really warms the heart, because it kind of shows that I can, if I learn good enough Spanish or good enough Italian or whatever, I can literally mask myself and make myself one of the people, and that is something very beautiful. Camouflaging, just everybody thinking that you're part of them. It's a big thing. It made me quite happy. So I guess that was the highlight of my trip from Barcelona. Even though I wasn't there for that long, and I ended up partying more than I should have. That little thing is what I'm talking about. Why you need to travel, because little experiences, whether they're on the plane there, on the plane back, it's the little experiences that kind of brighten your day, make you good. Kind of put a little light bulb in your heart, make it shine. Good things. So yeah, that I think I kind of grew as an individual from that experience. Yeah, it was quite deep. Okay, Abu, that was quite a story. Someone mistaking you for a Spanish person was one of the most life-changing moments of your life. That's very nice to hear. You know, everyone has something that can make their day better. Like yesterday, if you're a big fan of the NFL, it was a good day for two states. So, number one, the team that I support, New England Patriots, they came back from a heart attack inducing game. Like, Jesus Christ, they can't just literally, they can't even play a game without giving you a heart attack. Like, they were losing from 10 points and they came back, and it's just like one of those things where you're like, whew, it really gets your blood pumping. It's like you snorted some cocaine or something. You're like, oh my God, what is going on? I feel like I'm on Clyde 9 or something. And then the same thing happened, but less dramatic, but it was great for the state. Philadelphia Eagles managed to defeat the Minnesota Vikings and won. And that's the first time they've been at the Super Bowl for a very, very long time. So Sylvester Stallone, Kevin Hart, and all those Eagles fans are just going crazy because this is a big thing for them. You know, Philly is like a homely, brotherly kind of state. So for them to do that is is a big achievement. So that's kind of stuff that brightens you up, you know, football, whatever. So speaking of like people, beings, human beings, emotions, so one of the things that you see that I have been seeing a lot, especially over the past year on Twitter or Instagram, whatever you say, is always girls putting out captions saying hashtag men are trash, stuff like that. And you know, being a member of that subgroup, it's kind of like I feel sad when I see that because that's not true. Not all men are trash. That's a completely false thing. And the reason why they say that, of course, there's a reason why everyone says something. The reason why they say that is, say, a dude messes with them and they kind of get all emotionally sad, and then they're just angry, and they want to vent it out by saying men are trash and just putting everyone in one category, which is not right at all. But you can understand where they're coming from. But see, that's the thing. You see swarms of the men are trash thing, but you never see it the other way. You never see women are trash or stuff like that, because it's even though the things that they do kind of work both ways. If you hear what I'm saying, so say that a woman writes men are trash after a breakup because she is infuriated with emotion and pain and whatnot. The same thing, the thing is that women say that guys play them, but it works the other way all the time. Like, the reason why I'm saying this deep philosophical, I mean, it's not even probably that deep, the reason why I'm saying this deep philosophical thing is because my next song puts this thing perfectly, is that not only do men play women, but women play men, because at the end of the day, we're all human beings, and natural selection, even though we're not, we're kind of like animals, but natural selection at the end of the day does its job by making us pick mates or whatnot that you see someone better and you're like, oh, I might go for that, you know what I'm saying? But that's the kind of mentality that we have, because we're human beings. And the next song just shows the other side of the picture. Not men playing women, but a woman playing not one and a half, not 1 3/4, but 2 men. Michael Jackson, The Girl Is Mine. Just tell the story, Michael. It's not just Michael. It's Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney. So, like, this girl just played 2 of the most biggest names in pop culture or pop in general. I mean, she played the king. How could you do that? But the song will tell you exactly what happened. Take it away, MJ. A little bit of Earth, Wind, and Fire there with their Real Fire song, September. Hope y'all having a great evening. My name is Chaudhry Waqas, bringing you hashtag Waqattack, a 1-hour comedy / parody show not intended to offend anyone, but just for everyone to have a very good banterous time. So before the break, you heard Dr. Abu Ayyub telling about his stories in Spain, but now it's time to do a new segment where you get to know more about me in a kind of stand-up kind of little thing that I'm going to test out, see if it works out. If it works out, hooray. If it doesn't, you know what? We tried. Without further ado, let's get into it. So this is basically going to be a little stand-up set about my life. So let's get some ambience going. So let's get some audience cheering. So, whoa, let's go. Whoa, 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 whoa. All right. Hey, hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chaudhry Waqas. How are you guys doing tonight? Now, I hope you're all having a great, fascinating evening. I'm here to entertain you for 10, 15 minutes or whatever, or however long you can bear witness to my voice. Now, if you can't tell by my accent, I am British. No, seriously, I am British. You may think, has he taken some Ket or something? He does not sound British at all. No, let me tell you, I have not taken Ket. I do not take narcotic substances like that. I've done the whole life in the UK thing, been in this country long enough to be considered a British citizen. So yeah, I am British. Deal with it. And but I was originally born in Pakistan in a little city called Lahore. Now, even though it's called Lahore, it is not French for what you might be thinking. I can't say it because this is radio, and that stuff like that gets censored. You can't, but so even though I'm from Lahore and you get the whole French misconception, I still get sometimes, the odd friend would just come out to be like, "Hey, you're from Lahore. You're from Lahore." That's not a nice way to talk about your mum, fam. And I'm just like, what? You little piece of trash. But no, I was, but not only was I born in Lahore, funnily enough, I was born in a hospital called Omar Hospital. Now, hospitals in the UK over here, they're called like Princess Royal Hospital, Great Ormond Street Hospital, or like Diana Hospital, whatever. So they name them after kings and queens and whatnot. But in Lahore, they were like, nah, leave that. Let's name it after a local snake charmer called Omar. And then they just be like, yo, Omar, we're getting a hospital named after you. And Omar's just like there with his with little like snakes being like, yeah, let's name a hospital after me. Why not? And hence Omar Hospital was born. And from that, I emerged. Now, if you thought that the city, Lahore, I was born in was, now if you saw the city that I was born in was creative, to say the least, the street I was born in was even more creative than you think. So, I was born in Lahore, in Omar Hospital, on a street. I lived in a borough called New Muslim Town. Now, New Muslim Town is way better than Old Muslim Town. We had Mercedes, they had, their camels and stuff. We had discos, they had mosques. No, I'm kidding. We both had mosques. You kind of have to have mosques in a Islamic little country thing. But otherwise, it's because if you don't have the mosque in the town, then it wouldn't be called Muslim Town. It'd just be called New Town. That's not fun. You got to put the Muslim together like little. Ooh, what town is it? I gotta know what town is it. Jew town? No, it's Muslim town because they got a mosque in it. So. Now I will tell you where I got this accent from that doesn't show that I am British by any means, even though I love the British culture. So I went to a private school in Lahore, and even though it was founded by British people during colonial times, the American influence in the 21st century was so strong that everyone there had an American-y or broken American-y accent. So like the Americanism was so intense that when you turn on the TV show or any TV station, for example, Postman Pat and Bob the Builder were dubbed in American. So I grew up my entire life thinking that Bob the Builder was American. So when I came here and found out that Bob the Builder wasn't American, it was a culture shock to say the least. Like I was fine with the whole Asda Sainsbury's, but Postman Pat speaking British completely threw me off guard. 360 degrees. It really put like a hole in my heart. I was like, how this guy that I formed a tight bond with over several months of watching him on the TV every single day to find out that he wasn't actually him, that he was just being played by some. It's too much for a child to go through. That's kind of no. I think no one should deal with that kind of trauma. So. You might be thinking, Lahore sounded quite lit, you had a lit hospital name, you had a lit city name, and you had a lit borough name, and Postman Pat was Americanized. Why would you ever want to leave such a town? Well, back when I was about 10 or 9, 10, there was, I don't want to make the studio, but there was a Taliban bomb attack, literally right opposite my school in an army establishment, because Taliban, they hate the Pakistani army because we've been trying to kill them for a while. We don't like damn terrorists ain't good. So now I still remember it like it was yesterday. It was a sunny winter's day and I was in art class. I was drawing a very, very crappy farmhouse or something. Now here's something I like to add on a tangent, even though it's a crappy farmhouse, when you're a kid, every creation you make, how bad it was, you're proud of it because it's art, and you take it as your masterpiece. You think of it as a big thing. So when I was a kid, my mom entered me in this drawing competition that was held in the local McDonald's, right? So they're basically trying to encourage kids to be more creative. So I went there all pumped, ready. I got my crayons, got my color pencils, and started, drawing in my masterpiece. It was a picture of a farmhouse in the nighttime because for some reason I had a farmhouse fetish as a kid. So anyway, farmhouse fetish aside, I put my blood and soul into this drawing, and to be honest, if I looked at it now, I genuinely think that the kid who drew this probably had some traumatic issues growing up as a child. Because Jesus Christ, it wasn't a pretty painting. But when you're a kid, you think it's amazing. You think you're amazing. Everything you make is amazing. So I hand this in. I submit my masterpiece to this brown Ronald McDonald, right? Okay. And then, this guy literally looked like he just came out from a call center or something, put on some makeup and was like, "Hello, how are you doing? Please give me your color pencils and stuff." But anyway, I was there. I was having a McFlurry. I was eagerly waiting. I was hyped to get a prize or something, or just runners up. Anything, right? So it 15 minutes later, right, a McDonald's employee comes to my mom, right, and says, he says this, your son's drawing was not good enough, so he doesn't get any prize. Not even a runner's up prize, not even a cup of tap water, nothing, zilch, got nothing. So I'm sitting here in McDonald's, bawling my eyes out, the other kids are better than me in art. It was a deep thing. It was I learned one thing that day. I came out of that McDonald's learning an important life lesson, that I was bad and the other kids were better than me. And I hate art and creativity because that McDonald's employee is just gonna come to your mom and just put your dreams to shame, because that's just what happens. That got real deep. But the time is getting immense. Okay, so we're gonna continue this sob story in a little bit. Next up, we're gonna be playing R. Kelly, Ignition. Get ready, y'all. This is the remix to Ignition, hot and fresh out of the kitchen.
Now, usually I don't do this, but go ahead on, break them off with a little previews of the remix.
In the back of my truck, bouncing up and down, stroking round and round to the remix. We just thugging it out.
That was Lela Malela from the Bollywood movie Race. I thought I'd put you guys in the actual seat of what it was like to live in the subcontinent back in the day. I mean, this is a recent song, but it gives you an idea of how people are over there, Always lit, always playing drums and having a good time. So when I left off, I was talking about the story of the traumatizing McDonald's experience, but before that I was talking about the Taliban bomb attack that happened opposite my school. So where was I? The Taliban bomb attack. So So I remember that was yesterday. I was like in arts class, right? I was painting my farmhouse because, love me the farmhouses. And suddenly, they just felt the ground shaking, right? And I looked at my teacher and I was like, Miss, are we having another earthquake or something? And she says to the earthquake equivalent, I'm not making this up, she says, no, you dummy, it's a bomb blast. Like, and I'm just here like, Miss, Miss, like, am I supposed to know the difference between an earthquake and a bomb blast? I'm like 10 years old. How am I supposed to know the difference between an earthquake and a bomb blast? I mean, they both go boom, both made the ground shake. Maybe it's in like the next course module or something. I have no idea. So I was just there like stunned, right? So they just start beginning to evacuate everyone. They evacuate everyone to the ground, and I see all the kids like crying, and then in my head I'm thinking, what are these pansies crying about? I mean, we're fine, we're safe, we're not the ones that have been blown to smithereens. We're like perfectly fine and safe, right? But a part of me was like, you know what? I want to join in. I don't want to feel left out. Everyone's sad. I want to feel sad. Why don't I feel sad? So so then I see my mom coming, right? And I proper like I try to like put on this act that I'm like proper emotional and sad, right? And so my mom comes in and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, mother, I am so traumatized by the events that have just occurred." And she's like, "That's it, you're taking a week off school until it's safe enough for you to go back there." And I'm like, yes, that should surely be enough time for me to relieve me of this emotional trauma that I've just witnessed. But then it was that was a fun little thing that happened. But before you know it, I came down to London, and I was proper excited, as I had been to London before, back in 2005. I remember being in central London with Big Ben and the London Eye, seeing all the beautiful sights, the lines and everything. But this time when we landed, we came here to live for good, right? So we didn't end up in central London. We ended up, so we didn't go straight to a hotel in Westminster. Nah, we went straight to Croydon, where the only sites you see aren't the Big Ben or the London Eye, but chicken shops, 99p stores, and a Primark. That was like our suffrages, as you may. So that was a little bit of info about me. Hope you all enjoyed that. And because we're running quite low on time, this is where we'll have to end it. So thank you everyone for listening to this week's episode of Waqattack. Hope you have enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions, feel free to tweet at me or not, whatever. It's your life, it's your choice. You can do whatever you want. But I'll be back next week, Monday, 10 p.m. straight, to bring you some more stories, some more news, and some more banter, and of course good music. So because today's theme was party, not party, but just music that's upbeat and keeps you like something that you can dance to, basically, because it's Monday night, and because it's a Monday night, you gotta party. Whatever night it is, you gotta party. So what better song to party to than JT? JT has put some real good classic like party songs like Can't Stop the Feeling, but this one goes way back. This is Sexy Back by Justin Timberlake. Have a good night, y'all. Enjoy.